Welcome, one and all. It is, for the first time in a very long time, an all New-Newz live stream. How are you all doing? I hope you are all very, very, very well. To talk football. We've got a lot to discuss. We've got a lot to get into. We've got transfer stories. We've got Euro 2024 stories. We've got a lot to discuss. And I would love it if you all would join in with me. So use and abuse the comment section. Use and abuse the chat, people. Let me know what you guys are thinking and feeling. There's also a link down in the chat as well for all to use if they want to and they want to join me in talking about football. Then please do. Like I say, we've got a lot to discuss. We've got we've got plenty to talk about in terms of Chelsea striking a deal with Leicester for Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall. We've got the latest in regards to my club, Liverpool, and there's certain players that are being discussed there in regards to transfer rumours. We've got Newcastle and their battle against PSR. A couple of players are seemingly being sold for big money. We'll talk about that as well. And like I said, we've also got Euro 2024 stuff to talk about. We've got Germany's big win last night. It's surrounded in a bit of controversy, of course. And we're also talking about England, who are playing later on today against Slovakia. So we've got a lot to talk about. And of course, if you guys have got any comments or any topics of discussion as well, that will make for great and interesting viewing. I'm sure we will get into that as well later on. So, like I say, please do get involved. Use the comment section at your will, people. If you want to follow the link as well and join me in the debate and in the discussion, then feel free to do so. It will be great to hear from you all on anything and everything that we're going to be talking about in this live stream. Hit the like button, subscribe if you are new. Both things will always be greatly appreciated, of course. But without further ado, let's get on with the live stream. Let's talk football. Let's talk football. Let's talk this all new news. Starting off with a big breaking news today. Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, Chelsea and Brighton. I'm going to say Brighton then for some reason. Don't know why. Chelsea and Leicester have reached an agreement for Dewsbury-Hall. Now, David Ornstein tweeted out earlier today that Chelsea reached an agreement with Leicester to sign Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, fee £30 million in line with other offers for 25-year-old Leicester midfielder. Set to complete medical today, signed contract until 2030, seen as perfect fit and style for Chelsea, for how Chelsea want to play. We knew this for a long time. As soon as Enzo Maresca was pretty much assigned, sealed, and delivered managerial appointment, we sort of expected the Dewsbury-Hall link to occur. Makes sense. Maresca, worked alongside Dewsbury-Hall at Leicester last season. He was a massive player for He was a massive player for Leicester last season in terms of obviously them chasing promotion to the Premier League. They managed to achieve it. Dewsbury-Hall was a massive cog in the machine there. And of course, Maresca going to Chelsea, he wants someone there who knows his system, who obviously he can trust, and Dewsbury-Hall fits the bill. My only concern on this deal, and I would be more concerned obviously if I was a Chelsea fan, is he good enough? He's another sort of unproven talent in certain ways. I know he has got a little bit of Premier League experience, and I know obviously he was big for them in the Championship last season. I'm just seeing a midfield that has already got the likes of Enzo Fernandez, regardless of what your opinions are on him. He's still there. Moises Caicedo. You've got Romeo Lavia, who didn't even kick a ball, I don't think, for Chelsea last season, but he's still waiting in the wings to obviously recover from his injuries. Conor Gallagher's still there. Whether he's going to be moving or not is a bit up in the air right now. You may have one or two other names in that Chelsea midfield that escape me. But adding Dewsbury-Hall to the mix, I get it from the manager's point of view, and I get why he would want someone like Dewsbury-Hall, and obviously I understand why. But my question is that if Maresca didn't work with him last season, would they have gone for him this year? In my opinion, I don't necessarily think so. Now, for 30 odd million pounds, it's not exactly cheap. Maybe in comparison to today's transfer market, it is, but not exactly cheap, 30 odd million. The thing with Chelsea is that with obviously how they've gone about their business so far this summer, you know, dropping out of deals for the likes of Michael Olise and seemingly Nico Williams and all the other kind of rumours and whispers that are going around in regards to Chelsea and their financial incapabilities, shall we say, right now. This again does strike me as a deal that is, for use of a better word, basic. It does seem pretty basic and pretty straightforward, to the point where whether it makes sense on a personal level between manager and former player of his, or whether it's just simple in terms of the financial aspects of the deal, it does seem very simple. Is this going to be an effective deal? Only time will tell. The guy is 26 years of age. He's on the verge of entering his prime. And I only remember him being linked with a Liverpool last season when, of course, Liverpool were being linked with practically every midfielder under the sun because everybody wanted a new midfielder. Well, I say everyone. Liverpool wanted a new midfield. That's the only time I remember him being linked with a top club. So that's my question to Chelsea fans and to basically any fan. Is this deal just too simple a deal for Chelsea to miss? Is this going to be an effective deal? Because yes, this could work out. And yes, this could be a decent move. Do I think he's a bit of an upgrade on what Chelsea currently have? Not in terms of maybe a Fernandes and a Caicedo, who the jury is still a little bit out on in terms of obviously them settling down with a more permanent manager. But in terms of what Conor Gallagher is right now, I argue that, yes, Dewsbury-Hall is better than Conor Gallagher. Does that necessarily mean that they should have maybe gone for him? Maybe they could have used that 30 million on someone else. Maybe they could have put that 30 million towards someone else. Maybe. But we're seemingly entering into an era now at Chelsea where the wage aspect is something that they're concerned about. And I know there's all PSR stuff, and I know there's all FFP stuff that Chelsea are looking to obviously try and combat at the same time. So maybe that's playing into effect there, and maybe they are trying to learn from past mistakes of tying down players to very long-term deals. And I mean, I say that, and this guy's going to sign a 6-year deal, but you get what I mean. 8 years, 9 years, whatever it was. And obviously paying big wages and big money fees for transfers and stuff of that nature. And I just think it's a bit strange that they would put out that they weren't prepared to pay the money for Michael Olise, and then they turn their attention to Dewsbury-Hall, turning their attention to other kind of players and other kind of people. So it's interesting to obviously to see the Chelsea stuff from the outside looking in. Like I say, I know I see him personally as I do see him as an upgrade on Conor Gallagher. But again, just because he's an upgrade on Conor Gallagher, like there are probably a lot of midfielders out there that many will see as an upgrade on Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher, for me, is just a Duracell bunny. He is just hyped up on batteries, and he will run and run and run for 90 minutes. He'll press, he'll run, won't really do a lot else, in all honesty. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Chris Patson, Interesting stuff, bro. Nice to know what's on your mind, but thanks for coming along. Balam, hey dude, how are you doing? Hope you are well. This is so suspicious, these transfers because of FFP. Yeah, and that's what we're going to get into as well. The FFP stuff this year, it's so strange to me. All of these deals that are going on between clubs, of a club buying buying from one club and then on a separate deal selling back to the club on another player. It's so strange to me. It's happening a lot. And again, the Premier League are 3 steps behind because they're only just clocking on to these kind of strange activities. As far as the financial aspects of these things go, yeah, it's weird. Dewsbury-Hall is going for £5 million less than Champions League finalist Ian Maatsen, who Chelsea sold for £35 million to Aston Villa. Alternatively, a player that we were going to get onto a little bit later is the Newcastle sale of Yankuba Minter. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. If you're new to the channel, I am terrible with butchering names, so I do apologize. Yankuba Minter of Newcastle, who Brighton have agreed a £33 million deal for. He's 19 years old. I think he was on loan at, I want to say he was on loan at a Dutch club last season. I don't necessarily remember I just want to double check, see if I'm right on this. Feyenoord. It was Feyenoord. Yeah, I don't get this. I don't. 33 million, 2 million less than Champions League finalist Ian Maatsen for a 19-year-old who, I mean, his numbers for a striker in the Dutch league are not terrible. 16 goal contributions in 27 Eredivisie appearances last season for a 19-year-old isn't necessarily bad. But even so, for £33 million on a 19-year-old that no one's heard of, isn't that a little suspicious? Isn't that a little weird that things are happening like that? Like, I don't necessarily get it. It baffles my mind that this guy that I only know about because I think I did a video or I may remember his name from last year when I think Newcastle signed him or whatever. It's just very strange to me. It's very strange that this is happening in the way that it is. It's very strange to me that this is happening in the way that it is. So, yeah. I'm again, I see it as the Premier League being out of touch. The FFP rulings are stupid anyway. I talked about it a little bit yesterday. I did a video where I talked about Liverpool's interest in Anthony Gordon, and I just basically said that it's ridiculous that for a team like Newcastle, who are lottery winners and are new kids on the block in terms of being so lucratively rich, that, you know, it's actually stupid how much money they have, that they still have to comply with FFP rules and regulations by selling some of their best assets. Now, it looks like they managed to work their way around it because as well as Minter leaving for 33 million, David Ornstein late last night said that Newcastle agreed a deal with Nottingham Forest for permanent transfer of Elliot Anderson. Newcastle reluctantly parting with 21-year-old midfielder to help PSR compliance. Academy graduate willing to move, and Nottingham Forest medical expected to follow. So there is a lot going on with Newcastle, and I think obviously it's as horrible as a situation, as frustrating a situation as I imagine it to be for Newcastle. I think this is maybe the best possible outcome, because as much as they may have wanted to keep Anderson, My question to Newcastle fans would be, would you rather sell one of your better assets in the likes of Bruno Guimaraes, Alexander Isak, Anthony Gordon, or would you rather have sold one of them over an Elliot Anderson or a Minter or whoever it may be? That would be my question. And I think a lot of Newcastle fans would probably say they want to keep those top three guys. So, but even so, like I say, it's still stupid and it's still horrible to be in that situation. Do you think it's interesting clubs are doing this by June 30th? Elliot Anderson, I feel Newcastle were forced, and all of a sudden they are signing Nottingham Forest, the keeper. The June 30th is the deadline for the PSR stuff, though, isn't it? So at the end of today, that's when all of everything has got to be submitted, and then the Premier League go through it and they go, hang on a minute, this don't add up, or yeah, you're fine, you're good, so on and so forth. So the June 30th stuff is the deadline. I just find it all strange how you've had a number of deals so far this summer that's like Newcastle signed this guy from Everton, Everton signed this guy from Newcastle, Villa signed this guy from Chelsea, Chelsea signed this guy from Villa. You know, it's so strange to me that obviously this is happening. Chelsea will take anything for Lukaku and other players. I mean, at this rate, I think they'd trade like a Twix bar or something for him. Like, the guy is just... Lukaku is going to go down as one of them strange players that's got brilliant stats, but will always have like a question mark of how the hell was this guy not even better? Like, he's such a strange striker with strange stats, which is why you can never always go on stats. It's why stats only tell half the story. PSR profit sustainability rulings, PSR drama this week. It's been PSR drama all season, mate. Like, no one probably even heard of what PSR was until this season, and then suddenly it's all over the place. Newcastle have money. Feels strange they have to sell Elliot Anderson, their academy player. And this is it. This is what I've been saying. Like, it, as much as they are lottery winners and as much as they are lucky to be lottery winners, Newcastle, whether you like it or not, have a lot of money. And when I say a lot of money, that is probably underestimating it a lot. They have an insane amounts of money, a bottomless pit of wealth and riches. And yet, they are not allowed to spend it. And yet, they are not allowed to use that in the way that they see fit. Now, I get they have to try and make it fairer for teams like, let's take last season, for example, a Luton Town coming up that I believe is fan-owned. And obviously probably doesn't have even close to the amounts of riches as what Newcastle would have. I understand that there has to be some guidelines and rules and regulations in place. But the PSR stuff is so backwards, so outdated, and so much in need of tidying up and just reviewing and looking over. I just don't understand why it's still in place and why the Premier League are still sticking with it. I think over the course of the next couple of years or so, I think there are going to be changes. We already know about spending caps and stuff of that nature that are coming in. So we'll have to wait and see how it goes. But I don't like it. And I understand the frustration of teams like Aston Villa, Newcastle, and so on and so forth that want to spend big money, but they can't because of fear of breaking these stupid rules and regulations, which the Premier League are only just taking seriously now because obviously Manchester City have broken 115 other kind of charges and things over the course of the past 15 years or so. So it's stupid. It really is stupid. In the end, Moda of Leicester is staying. This seems Moda of Brighton. I was about to say Moda. I guess so. Although it does seem like if they wanted to really get rid of him, he's still seemingly in the shop window. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. we'll have to obviously wait and see if obviously anything does happen now with Newcastle. It seems that selling two of their young talents, one being an academy graduate, might see them keep their heads above the PSR water, so to speak. Does that mean that the book is completely closed on the likes of Alexander Isak, who's been linked with Chelsea in recent days, Anthony Gordon, who of course has been linked with Liverpool, Bruno Guimaraes, who's been linked with the likes of Arsenal and Manchester City and whoever else you can name? That may close the book, and that might be the best case scenario for Newcastle, given the horrible situation that they are currently in with these stupid rules. So, it's been PSL drama this season. Who are you? What have you done? Yeah, I say mate a lot. You don't know me that well, but I do say mate a lot. So, yeah, I'm not an Australian, but it's not really. It's not completely an Australian thing. Nottingham Forest. Don't ever say Notts Forest. Don't ever say Notts Forest, dude. Nottingham Forest fans will absolutely rip your head off if you ever call them Notts Forest. Signed 30 players every season, though, and Fulham once spent 100 million. Fulham obviously got a lot of rich owners, and I think they also had Premier League experience from like years before. So I understand where Fulham may have got their money from. Nottingham Forest, though, first time being back in the Premier League for about 18 to 20 years. Signing 100 million, that was always suspicious. So yeah, we'll see. Are you enjoying Ange Postecoglou as a pundit? You know what? I don't really watch a lot of the pre-match, half-time, post-match analysis of games. Normally I'm trying to find people on YouTube that will talk a bit more sense, but every so often I will catch a glimpse or a clip, or maybe I will watch how it goes. And I like the way he speaks. I like the way that I've always said I like the way that he speaks. I like how he carries himself. I like how charismatic he is. He is a bit of a fresh air on a panel that has been needing a lot of fresh air. And, you know, those kinds of match days like that are in desperate need of different characters, which is why the likes of, you know, Micah Richards and Roy Keane have been so popular over the years. I wouldn't mind to see him do more stuff like this, but obviously I know that him being the Tottenham manager, it might not be the case, but I like him. I don't necessarily agree with everything that he says, but that's like everybody. So fair play to him. No one wants Everton's points deduction. No. I mean, if they've broken rules, they've broken rules. They deserve to be punished. But again, it depends on the severity of everything. And whilst the 115 charges of Manchester City still loom over the club's head, there's always going to be fingers pointed at that. The Premier League can dish out as many punishments as they want to various different teams that have broken PSR, FFP, or whatever. Everybody's going to still point at Manchester City and be like, what about them? And until that day in court happens, we'll never really know. So we'll see. Kwanzaa was always staying for Liverpool, fourth choice centre-back. Yeah, I mean, I think he's had a brilliant breakout season. He's had a fantastic breakout season. You can clearly see that there is a lot of potential there. There is a lot of promise there. But at the same time, if we were to get rid of him in favour of Anthony Gordon, and obviously part exchange with a lot of money as well, I wouldn't be completely for it. As much as I like Anthony Gordon now, and as much as I've come around to the idea of Anthony Gordon, because previously I was not a massive fan of his. Not just because he played for Everton, by the way. I just didn't see all the hype around him. I get it. England is so bad. Why did they take an injured left back? Should have taken Ipswich left back or even Crystal Palace left back. They needed a left-footed left back. Trippier always comes in, Fields take free kick. I'll save that comment for a little bit later, dude. I'll save that comment for a little bit later when we get onto the England/Euro stuff. Pep is saying adios next summer before his court date. Maybe. I mean, it would be coincidental if that was to happen. We shall wait and see. We shall wait and see on that. But yes, back to the Newcastle stuff. Like I say, for Newcastle, it might be the best case scenario. As much as they didn't want to obviously be in this situation, as much as obviously they don't want to sell any of their best players, it might be the best case scenario to sell a couple of youngsters for seemingly big money. I mean, the 33 million for that 19-year-old kid, that is mad. And although it may raise suspicions with the Premier League, I can't believe the Premier League have made these rules and have not gone over it with a fine-tooth comb to kind of close out all the loopholes. And they're only just playing catch-up now. It seems very, very strange to me that all these others. Chelsea signed an unknown kid the other day. Yeah, they did. Was it that? I can't even pronounce his name. Was it the guy who begins with like G? It's like a Gayu. I don't know how to pronounce his name, and I do apologize because again, I will butcher a lot of names. You give me a name, I will butcher it. Even something that is so simple like Andy Carroll, I will probably still manage to butcher. But yes, I know exactly what you mean. There were a couple of youngsters that Chelsea signed, and that kind of goes into the point that I've been saying when I talked about Michael Elise, when I talked about them backing out of certain deals for other players. They're signing youngsters. They're not signing Premier League quality. And their reason for doing it is because they won't pay seemingly the wages. You need to pay the wages if you want Premier League quality. The one thing that we said about Chelsea all of last season is that they need experience. They need quality in key areas. So my question is, where is the quality? Where is the experience? If you're not willing to pay for it, you ain't got it. Dewsbury-Hall definitely isn't the answer. As much as I think he's an upgrade on Conor Gallagher, he's not the answer to the problems that Chelsea have right now. The answer will come in a star striker. And if you go out and get Isak, and I don't know how you will get him if you're not prepared to pay the 180k supposedly that Elise was after, then fair play. But if not, I don't get where the money's coming from. I don't understand what Chelsea's plan is. Yes, I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name, but I know obviously he plays for Inter, and I know that he's played for Turkey as well. So, yeah, I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name, dude. Parma or Chelsea did well last season. Yeah, in Chelsea's system, you know, buying youngsters, I've constantly said, like, they're buying so many youngsters and they're hoping that they all thrive and evolve all at the same time. And I just don't think in that kind of environment, all are going to do that, which is why you have to find a good blend of experience and youth. And eventually, you know, the youth grow into the experience and the experience move on. And the experienced ones that were once youth then have to teach the new youth. And it keeps on going up like that. I don't think all of Chelsea's youth is going to be able to grow all at the same time and grow to the potential that they hope. And especially not in that environment, especially not in an environment of a club that is so impatient, a fan base that is so impatient, a new board which have claimed that they're not impatient but clearly are. It's just not a very stable environment. It's just not a stable environment whatsoever. Enzo, a World Cup winner, will meet Dewsbury-Hall all of a sudden. Hey, some things happen like that. Some things do take place like that. So we'll see. We shall See, it's like when Casemiro and Rafael Varane moved from Real Madrid to join Manchester United, and they found out that their captain was Harry Maguire. Things like that happen. I'm new here. Are you doing a 600 subs giveaway? Maybe not. Maybe not a 600. I am very grateful for the over now 600 subscribers that I have. So thank you all so much. I don't think I've actually thanked everyone for that. So I do apologize, but I do thank everyone for doing that. Always very much appreciated as ever. Maybe a giveaway somewhere close to the 1,000 mark, or something special at the 1,000 mark, something along them lines. So we shall see. We shall see on that. But yeah, thank you all. Very much appreciated. And whilst we're on that topic, if you have enjoyed the stream so far, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. Both of them always very greatly appreciated. And like Balam is here, do get involved in the comments. The link is somewhere in the description. I'll post the link again, actually, just in case people may want to see it. If you want to join in on the conversation, then feel free to do so. Or if you're just happy just talking in the chat, that is also appreciated as well. So we've done Dewsbury-Hall. We've done Newcastle. Let's move on to some Liverpool talk, shall we? We talked about Anthony Gordon yesterday. I don't know if the book is completely closed on Gordon after, obviously, the developments at Newcastle last night in terms of selling Elliot Anderson, in terms of on the verge of selling that young kid, Yankuba Minter. But there have been a couple of other players, and I just want to get this off my chest because I'm not going to say worried about the process, but I'm a little bit concerned. I'm a little bit concerned by Liverpool's activities so far this summer. I might go Cobham area on Saturday morning. Chelsea training ground is called Cobham, yet this is in Stoke-de-Avignon area, believe it or not. Chelsea play in Fulham area. I don't know my geography too well, dude, so I'll have to take your word on that. But interesting stuff. Adrian is leaving. Yeah, very happy about that. And I understand that. I know that goalkeepers can go on until they're like mid-40s, but at the same time, the guy's been sat in the reserves for God knows how long. I'm just hoping this means that Kelleher's staying another year of him being our second choice goalkeeper, just in case, obviously, Alisson gets injured, suspended, or whatever the case may be. So I'm hoping that will be the case. Why haven't Real Betis announced Adrian? I'm sure it's just tying up all loose ends and stuff like that in Asia. I don't know. We shall see. We shall see on that one. The Liverpool stuff, though. I am concerned. And there's two players that are concerning me a little bit. We'll start with Rayan Aït-Nouri. Wolves left back. I like him a lot. I rate his energy. I rate his work rate. He's an advanced attacking fullback. He gets into some very advanced positions a lot of the time. He can score a fair few goals. Creates a lot of chances. He's got a decent left foot on him. I like this guy a lot. Seemingly available for somewhere between 35 and 40 million. I don't think it's that bad of a price, in all honesty. Especially when you consider that, a Champions League finalist of Ian Matson is going for 35 million and a 19-year-old kid is going for 33 million. Aït-Nouri for me is a signing I would like to see. Strikes me as a typical kind of FSG deal. Wages would not be a problem whatsoever. The transfer fee is, again, they would probably like it a little bit lower, but it's not completely out the price range of Liverpool Football Club that we know how Michael Edwards likes to do his deals with. I like the guy a lot. So why haven't we got this done? Why haven't we got this done? The guy is not at any international tournament. The guy is on his summer holiday. He'll be enjoying the sun, soaking up some rays, chilled out, relaxing after a long season with Wolves, looking ahead to prepare for the next season as well. Why haven't we got this deal done? I don't get it. I don't get why this deal in particular hasn't been done. The next one is Riccardo Calafiori. Now, obviously, Calafiori is a massive player for the Italian squad, and I think you could tell from yesterday's dismal performance by the Italians that Calafiori was certainly a huge absence in the back four yesterday of the Italians, the back line of the Italians. Had a decent World Cup. Jesus Christ. Had a decent Euros. And a very decent Euros. Set up the goal that ultimately saw Italy make it into the knockout stages. He helped set that up. I like the look of this guy. I haven't watched him religiously. Plays for Bologna. Don't really watch Serie A that much. And if I do catch the odd Serie A game, it's not normally a Bologna game, with all due respect. But from what I've researched, from what I've obviously heard, from the very, 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 very little that I've seen and everything else of that nature, again, I like the look of him. I like the look of his potential. 22 years of age, young, ball-carrying player from the back. Still a little rough around the edges, I grant you. He's still a bit rash and he does wander. His positional awareness does see him tend to wander a lot away from his position. But there is still a lot there to work with. There is still a lot of potential there. There is still a lot there that you can admire and you can like about him. And there's obviously a lot there that you can work with. You can definitely work with. Again, he wants to stay in Italy, but I don't think the latest is that Juventus are a big club that's in for him, but they don't seemingly have the financial funding to be able to tempt him to stay or even tempt Bologna into a sale. So it does seem like if he wants to move away from Bologna, the Premier League is the way to go. Liverpool are interested. Arsenal are interested. Why don't we just get this deal done? It's not like just because there's an international tournament on, you can't do any sort of deal. Aït-Nouri, like I say, is not at an international tournament, and yet we are messing around and umming and ahhing about him. Wait till Manchester City get wind of it or someone else and he goes over there. City are in need of a left back. City are in need of a left back, and Aït-Nouri might be that guy. You never know. You never know. Calafiori, young, a lot of potential, a lot of promise, ball-carrying defender, physical presence. Got a lot to work with there. A lot to learn, but a lot to work with what he's got currently in his locker. Why are we waiting around for these deals? Normally, Liverpool under Michael Edwards, when he was the sporting director, normally went out and got their business done and dusted. Normally, Liverpool would go, right, we're going to get this deal done and this deal done and this deal done. And then that's our 3 top priority deals for the summer. If we are in need of a 4th one, we don't necessarily need it to be done as quickly, but we won't rush into anything. And we won't be forced into a sort of bidding thing where we're seemingly desperate. We will go in, we will lay our cards down on the table, and if they want it, they'll take it. If not, we won't budge. That's normally how Liverpool's deals are done in the past. But for whatever reason, we're stuttering. And it's not completely cause for concern yet. We are only just on the verge of entering into July. We have a whole month and a half, a whole 2 months left of the transfer window, a whole month and a half before the season starts. But you've only got roughly about three weeks or so until pre-season begins, something along them lines. I'm growing a little bit concerned of, and I know everybody's in the same boat. I know that the only team seemingly making moves are seemingly the likes of Chelsea and Aston Villa. But I'm a little bit concerned as to why we haven't gone out and got these things done. It just seems strange to me. Just seems very strange to me. I want Jimenez from Feyenoord because Darwin is good, similar to Manchester. Erling and Alvarez. Jimenez would add goals. We definitely need goals, dude. We definitely need goals. Is it time to cash in on Costas? Absolutely. I think he should have gone last year. I understand why he stayed. I think it's time to cash in on him, especially because his effectiveness has seemingly not been... Whenever he's tried to... This is how you know his effectiveness has gone. Joe Gomez was ahead of him in the pecking order last year. Joe Gomez was a better left back last year than what he was, and he's not a proper left back. That's how you know his effectiveness has gone. And I feel like if we'd have cashed on him last year or the year before, we would have got a much heavier price than what we're going to get for him right now. I still reckon we get about 15 million or so for him, which is still a decent price. But yeah, we could have probably got a bit more for him if we'd have sold him a year or two ago. And I say, if we can cash in on him and use that money as part of the Aït-Nouri deal, I would be extremely happy with that. Aït-Nouri, for me, is going to be providing Andy Robertson with much bigger and much more fierce competition, which will keep Robertson on his toes. So we shall see. The Greek goddess, Greek Scouser. Yeah, like I say, he seems like a very good character to have around, but at the same time, there's no need to stand on ceremony. There's no need to stand on sentimental stuff. That's just the way that it goes. Liverpool get along with Wolves because Jota, Michael Edwards, Wolves only like Portuguese players. Yeah, there was a time where they were constantly going for Portuguese talent, but yeah, we shall see. We shall see on that. Are you happy Liverpool are doing okay in finances? Will be interesting to see who Liverpool sell if any senior player leaves. Only Salah, I feel, because of big money from Saudi Arabia League. Don't think he'll want to go anymore. I think you'll see what everybody else has seen with going over to Saudi Arabia. Everybody's not really happy. There's only really Ronaldo who's seemingly happy over there. Everybody else wants to come back. So I'm hoping Salah sees that and maybe goes, you know what? Maybe it's not for me after all. But in terms of Liverpool finance, look, this is another thing that I'm annoyed about. We're taking our time with certain deals. But we have the money. We have the money. We've been told a lot about war chests. Every season, season after season after season after season, we've been told about war chests. We're going to get 200 million, 250 million, 300 million to spend in the summer. Where is it right now? Where is it right now? I stopped buying into it a long time ago. But the thing that annoys me even more so about this year, more than most, is the fact that in the latter stages of the transfer window last year, the club put in a bid of 115 million or whatever it was for Moises Caicedo. Now, 40 million of that was taken out probably for Ryan Gravenberch. That's still a grand total. Let me see if I got it right. Of 75 million unaccounted for between that deal ending and this transfer window beginning. There is still 75 million there. Plus, however much money we got from sponsorship deals, however much money we got from winning the Carabao Cup, from finishing third this season, from getting Champions League football, from sponsorships, from TV rights, from everything else on top of that. Where is the money? Why are we not spending it? Again, I'm not losing my head completely on this. I understand there is still a long way to go in a transfer window. But the Liverpool that I knew when we were most successful about 5, 6, 7 years ago were the ones that were building up towards something special by getting their business done and dusted as early as possible. Maybe things change now that Italy are out the group. Maybe we do go in for Calafiori within the next 24 hours or so. Maybe we actually stop twiddling our thumbs and waiting for someone else to jump in on certain deals. And maybe we go, you know what? Ain't Nori, we'll go for him now. Maybe we'll go in and we'll go in for the kill straight away. Lay the money on the table to Wolves and go, take it or leave it. And they take it. Like, I don't understand what we're messing around at. This is a whole new era that Liverpool are on the verge of entering into. This is a whole new way of thinking, of playing, different ideas, a somewhat different philosophy. And we're not doing anything. We're seemingly not doing anything. There's a lot of whispers and there's a lot of talk. There was Brian and Mbeumo links, and there's links to Anthony Gordon and one or two other names that have been mentioned in between. Michael Elise's name was actually mentioned, but again, too little, too late. I don't get what we're doing right now. I really do not get what we're doing right now. Most likely Liverpool will sign Leipzig players. They like Leipzig players. Would you take Xabi Simons on loan? Does he fit in at Liverpool? He is Dutch. Our manager is from Holland. I like the look of him. I think he played well for Holland, but I never like to judge anyone based on an international tournament. The amount of teams, including our own, that have done that time and time again and have failed is unbelievable. Remember 2002, El Hadj Diouf in the World Cup. Remember 2004 Euros, Milan Barros. Wasn't necessarily a bad striker, Barros, but it wasn't incredible. Yeah, I like the look of him at some points, and at other points I'm like, I'm not 100%. I'm not completely sold on the guy. I thought he played very well though against France the other day. I will say that. James Pearce, transfer kitty would be quiet. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous if that is to be the case. I've not actually seen that myself, so I don't know. I can't really say for certain, but if that is a quote that's coming out from him, cool. Accept mediocrity. We're probably not going to get Champions League this year. Free wages from Thiago and Matip. Yeah, we've got a couple of them off the books. We've no more Thiago taking up space on the wages books and obviously in the medical room. Matip's off as well. No Adrian. Maybe one or two others as well. I do see this now. Gareth Southgate's tactics are so bad it's boring and dull. Germany have a club manager. France have the experience. Again, I'll star that, mate, and we'll come back to it when we talk about England. Specifically this tournament, so many. Again, I'll star it and we'll come back. James Pearce quote was a old tweet of his. Oh, right. I thought you meant it was something new that I've just missed. My apologies. Like I say, I'm hoping for something. I'm hoping for something exciting this summer. You know, after a few transfer summers now, where our transfer business has not been as solid, has not been as interesting. You know, you can maybe argue about Alexis McAllister, but that was a straightforward deal. You can maybe argue about Dominic Szoboszlai. Again, a release clause deal. I want something exciting, and Michael Edwards normally produced something like that whenever he was in charge. And I know that obviously he's working more towards the FSG side of things, and Richard Hughes is obviously the one that's in his old position. I just want something exciting. You know, after the past couple of years, I'm missing out on big names like Chouameni and Bellingham. I want something exciting. I'm just hoping that will be the case, but I look at it now and I'm thinking we're going into a new era. Arnie Slot. Is it maybe going to happen? Probably not. Probably not, in all honesty. But the move, we're waiting to see. We wait and see. But yeah, like I say, those are just my concerns with Liverpool. I just wanted to get that out there. I just wanted to get out there that I'm concerned about Liverpool's speed of thought process. Amongst other things, I'm concerned about the fact that the wages and the money is all there for the using, and we're not currently using it. It's just something to keep your eye on going forward for Liverpool fans alike. What time is it? Almost 4 o'clock. Cool. We can go for a little bit longer. For a little bit longer because obviously I'm just England kick off in just over an hour's time. So whilst we're talking about that, we may as well discuss the Euros. The Euros. I like the tournament. I'm enjoying the Euros, and I never thought I'd say that. I've become so disassociated with international football that I was like, I'm not going to bother this year. I'm so glad I stuck with it because I'm enjoying the Euros. I enjoyed the World Cup, to be fair. I enjoyed the World Cup. Not all of it. Some of it was meh. But this tournament has been nothing short of brilliant, nothing short of exceptional, and nothing short of entertainment until it comes to England. I've enjoyed it. I think there's been some really good performances. I think everybody has competed to the best of their ability. I don't think any team has just turned up to make up the numbers. I think all teams have really gone for it. I like it. I really, really do like what this tournament has produced. Some exceptional young talent, some exceptional goals, some absolute bangers of goals, brilliant performances all round. I've honestly really enjoyed this tournament. Yesterday, we saw the Italians get knocked out. The holders are out, so we're going to get a new champion this year. As in, not one that's going to retain. You know what I mean? We've had the Germans, the host nation, beat Denmark. Somewhat controversial circumstances, and typically it was English refs at the centre of it again. We might as well talk about the controversy. The first goal for Germany was ruled out in the opening minutes of the game. I didn't understand it at first, but the more that I see it, the more I understand why. I guess my main shock is that the English refs actually decided very quickly that it was not a goal, and rather than watch the replay about 20 different times from about 3 different angles and then go, you know what, I'm still undecided. Let's put it to a public vote. Oh, look at that. Public vote still undecided as well. Let me just ring my mum up and see if she has anything to say about it. 20 minutes go by and they're still undecided. I was actually very surprised that they actually did. They actually did decide that very quickly. So we shall see. Plenty of goals, not many goalless matches. Exactly. It has been very, very fun until obviously England come along. Is the unpredictable because managers have less time in training and international? I guess so, to an extent. I mean, you're a long way from the likes of like Spain of 2008 to 2012 dominating because of the insane team and manager that they had. But yeah, I understand. Have to go. Flags talk soon. You can't count out the Germans. So much rain in Dortmund, etc. Thanks for coming. I can't speak. Thanks for coming along, dude. Really do appreciate it. Always good to talk to you, my bro. Hope you are doing well, and I hope you take care of yourself, mate. Thank you for interacting and coming along. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it, and England are obviously in action tonight as well. So obviously enjoy that game, my dude, as well if you possibly can. Where was I? Oh yeah. Yeah, so the more that I see of the first goal, I understand why it was ruled out. The second half, the handball, I do not understand. I don't understand how that can be a handball. The proximity, the way he's running, his hand is in a natural position. I do not, for the life of me, understand how that can be given as a handball. I think Denmark got a little screwed there. I don't get it. I genuinely don't get it. And again, I have seen them given, so I'm not going to go too hard on English referees in this particular instance. But at the same time, I don't agree with it. I really do not agree with the outcome of that decision. Yeah, it is what it is in terms of that aspect. So I'm not completely for it. The Germans go on to take full advantage. The Danes have a goal ruled out for the most minimum of offside calls. And here's what I will say about the offside law. He's offside by a toenail. Literally by a toenail, he is offside. We saw one earlier in the competition where I think it was Romelu Lukaku against Romania was offside by a nose hair or something. There have been some really tight offside calls. And what I will say about the offside law is that I think it does need to change. I think there are certain aspects of the offside law that do need to change because obviously the game's got a lot faster since the last time the offside law was properly changed. The offside law does need to kind of be modernized to what we are seeing right now before our very eyes when we watch football. But there's still going to be a very fine margin between what is offside and what is onside, regardless of how you change the law. There is still going to be the barest of minimum for an offside call. I've been calling for the offside law to be changed for a while. I understand people's frustration, but there is still going to need to be and have to be a margin of a margin that defies what is onside and what is offside. So as much as I think it's harsh on the Danes for it, obviously there has to be a cut-off point somewhere. And unfortunately, on this one occasion, the Danes didn't quite get that cut-off point. But yeah, fair play to the Germans. I thought it was brilliantly well taken from Musiala, his goal as well. Well deserved. I thought they were a better team on the night. They deserved to go through. So fair play to the Germans on that one. They advanced to the final 8. And as Ballum says, you can't count out the Germans. You can't count out the Germans. Like it's their home tournament. They are playing pretty well right now. They've got a lot of momentum on their side. You can't count them out. That's their done. Tonight, England take on Slovakia. The England team has just been announced. The England team has just been announced. Pickford in goal. We all predicted that. Kyle Walker, John Stones, Mark Guehi, and Kieran Trippier are in the back 4. There was a lot of talk about whether Trippier would retain his place. There was a talk about him being a little bit injured, maybe carrying a bit of a knock. Maybe even Bukayo Saka starting at left back. He's stuck with the same back four. Declan Rice partners Kobbie Mainoo in the middle. At least he's learned from his mistake of the Trent Alexander-Arnold experiment. And at least he's not putting Conor Gallagher back into the middle of the pitch. Saka, Bellingham, Foden line up behind Harry Kane up front. He has changed that right centre mid position again, Kobbie Mainoo for Conor Gallagher. Now, I'm happy for that. I like Kobbie Mainoo as much as obviously he plays for Manchester United. I like Kobbie Mainoo, and I think this is the perfect opportunity for him to showcase what he can do on an international level. I think this is the perfect opportunity for him on a professional level. I think this is the right move from Gareth Southgate. I think this will provide England with more stability in the midfield and hopefully more control and possession of the football when we have it in a game in which I think we are going to get a lot of the ball, obviously. My only concern is, what about everybody else that you should have dropped? For me, Slovakia don't have anyone down their left-hand side who's going to cause a lot of problems pace-wise. So why not put Alexander-Arnold instead of Kyle Walker? Kyle Walker doesn't have the same level of creative ability that Trent Alexander-Arnold does. He doesn't have the same range of passing that Trent Alexander-Arnold does. You put Trent at right back, yes, he may not have the recovery pace of Kyle Walker, but guess what? He's still a decent defender. The whole idea that Trent can't defend is a horrible, lazy myth created by rival fans to try and cut him down. He can still defend, but he can also be creative enough to break down stubborn defences, which I imagine is what we are going to face when we're facing this team of Slovakia. Kieran Trippier, left back, provides no natural balance, which, as Ballum has stated, why, oh why, oh why did we take Luke Shaw if he wasn't going to be fit? We should have just took any left back that is English for perfect natural balance, but we didn't. So here's my question. Why not play Trent at right back, and why not play Joe Gomez as an inverted fullback? So that when you are in possession, Trent can roam, Gomez can pull inside, and then you can have a back three when you're in possession. And Trent can do his little roam thing and get back in that right back position whenever England lose the ball. It's not crazy. It's not weird. It's not overthinking anything. It's just makes perfect logical sense. The fact that we have not had a left side for the entirety of this tournament is ridiculous. And every time we do go down that left-hand side, the same thing happens. Foden either runs down that left-hand side and gets crowded up by two players. He cuts the ball back to Trippier, and Trippier either delivers a poor cross with his right foot, or we just go backwards again. And we go back to Gahey, and Gahey to Rice, and Rice back to Gahey, and then we try and switch it over to the right-hand side. The one ball that Trippier actually put decently into the box was missed by both Gallagher and Kane. We have no left-hand side, and we have it, and we don't have it again. Even on when did we play Slovenia? Was it Wednesday? Tuesday. Even Tuesday night when we played Slovenia, we brought Mainoo on to control the midfield, and we looked better in possession. But then we switched Bellingham to the left and Foden through the middle. You can't play both unless you're dropping one into the 8, and that 8 should be Bellingham, not Foden. Unless you're playing Bellingham in the 8 and Foden as the 10, you can't play both side by side. Foden's not a left winger, and neither is Bellingham either. The mad thing about this team the mad thing about this team is that in a single instance, excuse me, in a single instance, this side could instantly spring into life. They could really just spring into life, this team, because they have the individual quality to do it. They have the individual quality to just spring into life and dominate and tear a team apart. But I don't know what to expect. Part of me is saying we'll scrape by. I said in my predictions video that I did on the round of 16 that I expect England to win, but I don't know how pretty it will be. My gut instinct is telling me it's going to be another stinky, smelly 2-1 win in which our strength and depth will provide us with the win. He'll throw on Cole Palmer. He'll throw on Ollie Watkins. He'll throw on Anthony Gordon. He'll throw on, whoever else we've got. Maybe an Ivan Toney. Maybe he'll go 2 up front or something, and he'll change it out of desperation. And our strength and depth will eventually tell, and it will be the big factor as to why we win. But another part of me is sensing a bit of an upset. And another part of me is thinking that this Slovakian team is going to turn up. They're going to restrict England from playing. They're going to stop England's limited creativity. Harry Kane is going to be dropped so deep he's playing on his own goal line that they're going to turn up, stink the place out themselves, and pull off an upset. A set-piece goal in the last minutes of the game. Maybe even a win on extra time or penalties or whatever the case may be. Part of me thinks that an upset could genuinely happen here because I don't know anymore what to make of this England side. We have the individual talent. We have the individual creativity. We have the individual moments in our team. But the manager's tactics are so boring. The manager's tactics are so predictable. The manager's squad is even predictable. Apart from the one change of Mainu, which I think a lot of us was expecting anyway. He's gone with the same team again. How do you not learn from your past mistakes? And this is what I keep saying about Southgate. He doesn't learn from his past mistakes. He didn't learn from Croatia back in 2018 when we were in the Euros final 3 years ago. He didn't learn from the Croatia game or the Italian game when we were in the World Cup against France a couple of years ago. You can even throw in the Nations League final in that mix as well against, I believe, like Spain or Belgium or whoever the hell it was. He doesn't learn, and he's not learning again. He's not learning again because once again, square pegs, round holes. Trippier, left back. Why did he take Luke Shaw? Trippier also, right-footed, not playing very well. Not necessarily down to him, more down to the unnatural position. Whatever the case may be, play Joe Gomez there. At least he has more experience of being a left back than anyone else on that team does. Maybe with the exception of Saka. Foden, left wing. He's not a left winger. He's better when he's got the freedom to go wherever he wants, to do whatever he wants. Why are you forcing him to play left wing? Why have you got this crazy idea in your head that he's a left winger when we've seen for Manchester City he's most effective when he's playing a free role where he can venture left and he can venture right and he can drop deep to receive the ball and he can go advanced to help the attack and to be a late runner into the box and score goals and play creative football to assist players. Why? And the one annoying one of all, I get he's the Bundesliga top goal scorer. I get he's England's top goal scorer. I understand that this guy scores goals for fun. But he's clearly not match fit, and he's clearly not all there in the head if obviously he's dropping so deep in games. Why, oh why, oh why, oh why is no one giving a chance to the likes of Ollie Watkins or Ivan Toney, and Harry Kane is starting up front yet again? Why, oh why, oh why is this happening? Now that I've said that, he probably will score about a hat-trick tonight. It would just be typical look of me saying that and then that obviously happening. But I don't get it. I really don't get it. I really don't get it. This guy is clearly not match fit. This guy is clearly playing in a way that is not beneficial to the team whatsoever. And yet we are sticking with him, which basically indicates, Ollie Watkins, you've had a phenomenal season with Aston Villa, but we don't care because Harry Kane, in our eyes, can do no wrong. No matter what Kane does, he can do no wrong. Ivan Toney, Cole Palmer, Anthony Gordon, brilliant seasons for their club. And even though you probably would provide more balance to our play, even though you would provide more balance to our squad, even though you will provide better options, a burst of energy, an increased technical ability factor, you're still going to be on the bench. You're still not needed. Your services will not be needed here because we've got Phil Foden, who is not a natural left wing, playing left wing. We've got Saka, who hasn't had the worst tournament of the group of players that we are talking about, but probably would like maybe a bit of a rest. No harm in throwing on Palmer, who's had a brilliant season for Chelsea. Anthony Gordon, in his 5-minute cameo appearance that he made against Slovenia the other night, gave us a bit more balance and also created our best move of that game from that left wing, cutting in and playing a lovely ball through to, I believe, Mainu, who just flicked it around the corner for Palmer, whose shot was a bit scuffed, but it created our best move of the game between our subs. What does that say about the current state of the England team when that is to happen? Look, for the good of the country, I somewhat hope we make it through and we get far. Given the draw, I believe I'm right in saying that if we win against Slovakia, we will draw Switzerland in the quarterfinal. I think that's right. And look, Switzerland played very, very well yesterday. They absolutely dominated and tore Italy apart. If Southgate doesn't change soon, if these players don't adapt quickly to the tournament surroundings, England will be out. England could very well be out by the end of this afternoon, or England could be out when they face a tougher opposition, with all due respect to the likes of Slovakia. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to expect. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know what to make of England. I genuinely don't know. We'll obviously just have to wait and see. But guys, look, I've been going for like an hour and 15 minutes. I'm going to go get some food and stuff before the England game starts. It's been great chatting to you all. These are, of course, just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it. This guy, I want to know what you guys think. We did cover a lot of stuff today. So, like I said, get involved in the comment section with anything and everything that you want to say about any of the topics that I've talked about. Maybe some topics for future videos and future live streams that you want to discuss. Let me know all of what you say and stuff. I want to know what you guys thinking and feeling about this. Did you like the live stream idea? And do you like what we talked about? Do you like anything else about it? Let me know what you guys think and feel down below in that comment section. I'm sure it'll make it interesting and great reading. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you are new. Want to see more content like this. Both things are always and forever greatly appreciated. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Like I say, thank you for everyone that contributed, got involved in the chat, and obviously everything else in between. Hope you enjoy the football later on tonight, because it's not just England versus Slovakia as well. There is Spain against Georgia, and I'm interested in that one because although I think it's a pretty predictable game and should be a predictable outcome, of a Spain win, I am very much interested to see how the underdog does, especially because Georgia have been a delight to watch in this tournament. So, yeah, I'm very much interested in that as well. But like I say, thank you all so much for watching and listening, guys. Appreciate it. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your night. God bless. And I will see you and speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your night. Speak to you all again very, very soon.